Hello everyone. This is one of several videos on how to create web applications. Now, to create a web application, you need a server. Why do you need a server? Well, your web application, if you want people to reach their web application, you want that to be on a server, something that has a domain, right? Registered domain, so people can anywhere in the world type a URL and access your web application. That's the idea, right? So we don't have a physical server, right? We're going to make one virtual. How to make one virtual? There is a software, a bundle software called AMPserver. And there's the initial letter that goes on that AMP server, makes it a WAMP server with a W, an L for LAMP server, and the M for MAMP server. And those are distinguishing the different machines that you use. A Windows-based one, a Linux, or a MacBook, a Mac machine. So I have already installed in my machine the AMP server called MAMP, right? So here we have start server, and when I click that start server, you're gonna add two, or I should say three services. The Apache server. Apache is going to be my web server, right? There's other web servers out there in the market. We're going to add also a database management system called MySQL Server, very popular one, and a server-side programming language, right? That is PHP. Okay, so I'm going to start my server here. And when I start my server, you're going to get that open web start page, right? So I'm going to start here. Let me bring up here our our editor, KomodoEdit. Right? We're going to make a very simple web application, one that gets the user enters a name, and the application just reply with the greeting, right? Hello, how are you? Something like that. Right? So let's do a file here, new file. I'm going to save this file here. Save as. Now, it's important to know where to save this file, right? It can be saved anywhere. But if you are using a web server, the web server recommends that you store all the files in a particular location. It's called the document root directory. Now, if you have in my case, I have a MAMP, is in this location here. I go to Applications, go to MAMP, and this location, htdocs. If you have a WAMP, if you install WAMP server in your machine at home, so your document root direct would be where you install the WAMP, would be most likely CWAMP, and inside of that CWAMP, you would have a subdirectory called www. That's your document root directory. So go to your document root directory. I'm going there. I'm already there, htdocs. I'm going to create a folder here to install this particular web application. So in the future, every application you're going to have its own folder and inside its own pages, right? So here we're going to call this, since our first web application, we're going to call the web app 0 and create that. Now I already create that. Let me go there, web application 0. Remember, we are creating a file here from Komodo. Let me take that format to all files. And let's call this guy here greeting 0.html. Save. Now here's a very simple one that I mentioned already. That's a very simple. So I'm going to start here. Let me blow this up so you guys can see the whole code. So it's HTML. Right? I'm going to have a head here. A title. Put a title there. Right? So let's call this just greeting. Title. Let's move into our body here. There's the closing tag for that body. We ask the user for name. So we're gonna say input, type, a text box here. So text. Let's give an ID. Just name txtbx. And let's also give a name. The name. Let me move the name here inside. Name is equal to same stuff. Name txtbx. Right. Now, what is the idea behind this web application? Well, the person type a name, right? And let's make it, as soon as the person type the name, press enter, let's display the greeting. So we need here what is called an event handler. There's several types of. There's on mouse, on mouse in, on mouse out, and so on and so forth. Now we're going to use this one particular one called on change. Let's move this down here so you can see. On change. And on change, let's make a call to a JavaScript function. So this JavaScript function is going to be show greeting. We're not going to pass any parameter to the function. Now, you can see that there's a curly line right under. If you wonder why, it's because the editors say, well, this is a call to a JavaScript function, it's a command line, and every command line in JavaScript ends with a semicolon. So let's put the, if it bothers you, it's just a warning, just to put a semicolon there, that goes away. And that should do it, okay. Let's go to let's create now a script, right, to run that function there. So where do I put the script? Anywhere, actually. But I'm going to put inside the head, so I'm going to put the script here, type text JavaScript, and I'm going to put the function here, show greeting, right? This function is a very simple function. What it does, it reads what the user typed in and display alert. So let's, right, reading, input name. I'm going to store that into a variable, var input name, yeah? Input name. And how to read that? We're going to use the DOM, the document object model, and we're going to take the body, which is represented by document, dot. Let's use the method get element by ID. In parentheses and double quotes, we put the name of the object, the text box there. And the ID, not the name, is the ID for the object. It's called name txtbx. I'm sorry, that's name txtbx. bx. Minimize here so we can txtbx. Now this all the way up there, we're getting we just get the text box there, but not the contents. To read the contents of the text box, we use the method value, semicolon. Okay, good. We read that. What I'm going to do now? Display the alert, display greeting. We're going to display that on alert. Let's put here alert. Hello, comma. We concatenate that with a variable there, input name. Okay. And that is our simple web application. We are a developer. We are sitting in front. Remember, the AMPserver, it made our machine as a server, right? And the name of our server is called localhost. So okay, so we store this file into our server, right? Remember the server document root directory. Now let's get this page. Right now we stop being the developer, and now we are the client. So we're gonna. Did I save? Yeah. Let me save it again. Save. And now let's display this in the Komodo tab here. And now how to get this? Well, the get for browser represent this is this command here, http:// the location. Think that when you go to any website, you put http:// suppose you go to Macy's, to shop, so you type www.macy's.com, that's the name of the server, right? And we put the forward slash and put the page that you want to go, right? The initial page. And the initial page usually is index HTML, so you don't even need to put, but you can make any page as the initial page. So we're going to put here, we're going to put localhost. In my case here, the server is running on a port 8888. If you have a Windows machine, most likely you don't need to put the port because it runs on 80. If it runs on 80, you don't need to put the port. So all the way up to here it means that I am in my document root directory, htdocs. So I'm going to delete all the rest here, htdocs. Inside htdocs, I need to put that directory there, web app 0, and green is here, and the page that I want. So I remember this, I preview, it shows there the name there. I type something here, Mary, presenter, and it comes the alert, right? Mary, simple one, right? Okay. Let's add one more attribute here to our autofocus. Why? Make use on the user, because when you do this, so you can see the cursor there is automatically there, so that makes easier on the user. Start clicking that. So you put here Mary again, or let's say Kate, presenter, and hello Kate. Okay. All right, that's exciting. Well, not too much, right? Okay. So now let's do the whole thing, meaning our web application, you're going to really have the server take the name and run a program there and does something with the name. Okay. All right, let's do that. So let's create another file here. I'm going to create another page actually. So I'm going to go new file, and I'm going to save as. Again, where do I save? Inside of the document root directory. So in my case here is inside of my MAMP, my web server, my MAMP server, or my AMP server. This is the htdocs is my document root directory, and I have a customized folder here called web application 0, and I'm going to call that not text files, make that all files, and I'm going to call that greeting. We have a greeting 0, so let me call greeting1.html. Save. It's basically the same as the previous one, so I'm going to copy that one here. I'm going to do a Control A, Control Copy, Control V, right? There's a minor change here. First of all, we don't need to call a function. What is the idea here? We're going to take the name and send it to a server-side program that's going to process the name. Okay. So we're going to have to send. Let us use that form tag, form attribute. Let's use the action attribute, which means where I'm send this to. Let's send it to greeting. We are using greeting1 HTML, so greeting1.php. Any other attribute? There's another attribute called method, right? Either get or post, right? The default is get, so let's use the default so I don't need to type it in. If you are sending some sensitive information, so you would use the method post, so you type method equal post. So let's take this form, the closing form tag here, Control X, and put right after we get the name, right? Control V. Let me indent here to show that this is part of the form. Do I need to call a function? No, not anymore, because the input that the user typed in, is going to be sent to that function, to that program called greeting1.php, and that one is going to take care of that. So I don't need this on change anymore. So let me get rid of this. On change here. Right? And do I need the ID? For the time being, I don't need the ID, because actually I don't need the function at all. So let me get rid of the whole script here actually. All right, just a title there. So I don't need the ID here, but I need the name. And you're gonna see very soon why I need the name. Right? And I can tell you, actually, that program at the PHP, this one here, PHP, it needs to read the name, and it needs to read the input through the name attribute. Okay, so we need that name there. Okay, so let's save this. Greeting1 HTML. We have the input, right? Well, as it is, are you sending this? Well, there is the intention there, but to send this, you need a button. The communication button, the button that really sends to the server. Okay. So that communication bar called submit button. It's not the button tag, but it's the input. Input type submit. The value here is show greeting. Right? Is that done? Yeah, the HTML part is done. You type it in the name, or type it in. Yes, you enter the name there, and the submit button, you're going to send that over there. The submit button, let's put it here between the name and the button there. Let's put some space with the paragraph here. So let me save this. Okay, good. So let's work on this greeting1.php. So file, new file. Let's save as. Again, where do I save? Inside of the document root directory. In my case, where is it? I go to applications here, to the MAMP, to htdocs. Htdocs is my document root directory. In your case, you're going to be where install the WAMP, right? C WAMP, and inside there's a subdirectory called www. That's your document root directory. And inside we have the folder web app 0, and I'm going to make this all files. And what are you going to call that? Well, we cannot call anything, but what the action is asking for. So we call that greeting1.php. Good. Let me blow up this. Now PHP is a script language. In order to tell whatever is rendering this page, right? That what comes next is the PHP. So we need here what is called a delimiter, PHP, and close here. So when the web server sees that delimiter, says, oh, it's a PHP command line, or a PHP program. Okay, a script. All right, PHP. So what are we going to do here? The idea is like the previous web application. Read the name and display greeting. Okay, so let's read the name here. Reading the input name. And we're going to store that in the variable, right? And every variable in PHP starts with the $sign. $sign here. Let me call that name in for a change. Name in. And how to read it? There's this operator here called $_. Now what it comes next is whatever method that you use to send the input there to this PHP. We use the get method. So put the capital G there. You see there, get. Right under that, there's the post in case you had to use that post. So let's press enter here. In square bracket and in between double quote, the name of the object there. The name attribute, or the value of the attribute name there. So let's go greeting1 HTML. What is the attribute name here? The value is name txtbx. So go back there in double quote, put that thing there, that value, name txtbx. And like JavaScript, it ends with a semicolon. Every command line in PHP ends with a semicolon. So what I'm going to do here, just display a greeting. We're going to use that print, hello, comma. Now we're going to concatenate. The concatenation in PHP is done different from JavaScript. JavaScript is a plus sign, this is a dot. Dot, $sign, name in. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. Now let me get this greeting one HTML, right? Remember, I'm using the word get because I'm gonna go, now I'm gonna put on the shoes of a client. I'm at home, this is done somewhere else in the world, it's stored there in the server. I'm gonna go and reach out for that server there and bring that page there. So I'm gonna come here, Komodo tab, and here we're gonna type here HTTP : // The name of that server up there is called localhost. Localhost. And in my case here, I need to run on port 8888. And inside of the server, there is a folder there, inside of the document root direct called web app 0. And this page here, or that page is called greeting1.html. Let's remember this and preview. Okay. You can see there the autofocus there, bring that to the inside the text box, bring the cursor, is blinking there. Let's put it here, Sophia, tab, show greeting. Hello, Sophia. Okay, good, very good, right? Now let's do play a little bit here or learn a little more of PHP. Now one thing that's very interesting about PHP, it works perfectly well with HTML. So if you want to show that in two separate lines, hello, put it here, any HTML tags. Let me put the break a line here, right? And if I save, if I refresh that, this is there, hello, Sophia. Oh, it works perfect with HTML. Does it work perfect with the JavaScript? It actually does, actually. So display greeting. So the only thing that you have to pay attention here, display greeting alert. So what I'm going to do here is create here, look, a variable called greeting. And I'm going to put here, hello, comma, dot, $, name in. Right? Now how to display the alert? There is JavaScript inside of PHP. Interesting. You have to remember the alert is not a regular HTML. The alert is part of the JavaScript, part of the script. So we're going to print this, print script type single quote text JavaScript. Right? Close the single quote. And here we're going to do the alert in parentheses. It's a text, so we're going to put single quote here, $, greeting. Single quote, I close the alert, I close it, what else? And then I close it here, the script. I don't need that extra there. Right, let me see here, text, script, alert, string, right? And all right, so let's save this. Let's refresh. And you can see, hello, Sophia. Right? Okay, so we have this. Okay, so we have that, we have the function there. Let me see here. So next thing is, well, some web application is like you are search for something, or you are registered, or right, you send something to the server does something with that. This one is just a plain greeting here, right? So let's see if you, for example, you send a name, see if the name is there, right, on a server, right? Okay, so let's put this here. Let's add a little more things here to this thing. Let's create it here, right? Name stored in the server. So I have here, the name is equal to, let's say here, right, Marcia. So now let's say here, if your name is Marcia, I'm gonna reply with the greeting. If it's not Marcia, I'm gonna say I'm sorry, wrong name, no, or wrong name. Okay. So how to do that? So it all depends if it is case sensitive or not. If it is case sensitive, let's say looking for a match between input name and the stored name. Okay. Now, case is sensitive. If the case is sensitive, it means it has to be exactly right the way you enter. So you can do just as simple like this if in parentheses, right? Name in is equal to $, the name. You're gonna print same name, and else print different name. So let's save this and let's run this. Hello, Sophia. Different name. Well, okay, it's all bunched up here. Let's make it here. Remember, it works perfect well with the HTML. We can put a paragraph here. Close paragraph. Open paragraph here and close paragraph. Oh, okay. So let's save this. Let's go back and type there as a Sophia. All right, let's type this Marcia. Let me do here Marcia. Show greeting. Hello, Marcia. And then same name. Okay. Now, suppose that type, right? I'm a little lazy here. I just type Marcia. Right? Show greeting. There's the alert there. And different name. Okay. Okay, that's case sensitive. Okay, right. How about if case is sensitive? And when you work with databases are large amount of data. Né? Usually they have a large amount of data. And the people that populate the database and insert records there, sometimes by mistake, by error, human error, they type it, they enter a little bit different from the way you expect it, right? Like a lowercase, the initial letter, right? And so on and so forth. So sometimes you do a case insensitive. For case insensitive, we're gonna put this, you're gonna use a PHP function. And the function is this here, string case CMP, $, name in, comma, $, the name. Now this is a function that returns something, or actually evaluates something. If this string here is equal to 0, which means the strings are the same, right? And it's case sensitive, so it's just letter by letter or character by character. If this is satisfied, we want to do the same thing here. Look, Control copy. We're going to put here Control V, print, same name, in parentheses, just make sure that this case is sensitive. And let's just copy this guy here, right? Control copy. And Control V. Print different name, case insensitive. This is really if the name is different, and no matter how you type it, right? Okay. So, we forgot the semicolon here, right? Good. So here we save. You can refresh this. There's alert. Different name, same name, case insensitive. Hello, Marcia. The name is Marcia, right? The name of the store there, Marcia, capital M. We enter, you see here the greeting, hello, Marcia, we enter lowercase m. With the case sensitive, it's a different name, right? But with the case insensitive, it's the same name, case insensitive. Okay. All right. How about now? Well, when you are looking for a name, when you send the name over, really, it's really you have to. How many Marcias there, right? How many Michaels and Johns and so on? So what you do, you send it like in a real world. You send the first name and the last name. So let's do that. Let's send the first name and the last name. Okay, good. So the greeting one here, I'm gonna create. Let me create another file, right? Since you're gonna show you all these codes up there. So I'm gonna go and new file, and not down there. Let me create up here. Let me stay here and I create up here. So new file, and I'm gonna save as, and this file put there again on my document root directory, MAMP, htdocs, web application 0. We have greeting 01. Let's make this all files and make this greeting 2.html. Okay, greeting 2.html. Save. Let me take the greeting 1.html, let me copy it, because it's a minor change. Control A, Control copy, go to greeting 2, Control V, blow up this guy here. Let me close this. Now we're gonna have a name here. Let me put it here. Let's do this thing here. First name, text. Let's put it here. F name, right? Out of focus. And let me put a couple of space between the first name input and the last name. Let me put here %NBSP, right? That's a escape sequence for spacebar, NBSP. And put it here. Let's just copy and paste this guy here, right? Control copy, Control V. And this is gonna be our last name. Last name, put type text instead of F name, L name for last name, right? Submit and everything. Good. We save this. Greeting 2, yeah, save. Now, another change I need to do. I'm not going to send to the same one. Let me send to this greeting 2 PHP. Let me save it again. And let's create another file here. We're going to save as same location, right? htdocs, web app. And you're going to be greeting 2 PHP, right? Make these all files. Save. It's basically as the previous one. I'm going to copy this thing, Control A, Control copy, and put up here, inside here, Control V. Okay, so we have first name and last name. So this is a little bit different from the previous one. We are sending two pieces of information, first name and last name. We don't need this here for the time being. And read the input names. So you're gonna hear first name in, the object there called F name, right? First name, and let's read the last name. Control copy, Control V. That will be last name, and this is last name txtbx. So we read the names, right? First name in. Okay, good. Let's assume now the server store about like 3 or 4 names there, and you're going to look into the storage there, see if the name that you sent is in there, right? So let's here storing several names in a data structure. There's list. Another one is array. Let's do an array. So now we're going to have an array that has a last name. First name, last name, first name, last name, 4 records, or 3 or 4 records. And so it's going to be a 2D array. 2D array. So this is going to be like this. I put it here. So it's going to be here. You're going to put like this. Here's an element 0, 0. This is an element 0, 1, right? And here is just copy and paste here. Control V, Control V. 4 records. So 0, 1. Here's 1, 0. Here's 1, 1, right? Here's 2, 0. Second record, first column. Second record, second column. Fourth record. And here is 3. So that's our array. All right, so let's create an array. Right? So we're going to put here $name array, and just declare as an array. Let's populate it, the array. So we're going to put here $name array. Just follow the element 0. It's 2 square brackets, okay? 0, 0 is equal. Let's call here Mary. And let's do this. Control copy. Control V. Control V. Control V. Control V. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, Mary. And then the second rack, 1, 0, Mary. Her last name, let's say here, Mary Ash. 1, 0, 1, 0. Let's do here. Oh, this is going to be Kate. And 1, 1. Kate. Come. Now, let's copy this guy here again. Control copy. Control V. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, and do the rest of it. So we have this store. Now what do? We read the names. Now let's see if there's a match, right? So the first thing we're going to do, so we're going to have to loop through the array. Yeah? So the first thing I'm going to do is start here. Let's array size. Move this up here. Array size. This is just here. Count the number of elements, or record, in the array. So I put here $array size. Is a count $name array. Is it working? Print $array size. We should get 4, right? To have 4 records, right? Mary Ash on the first one, Kate Can, and so on, 4. So let's save this, Let's get the greeting to HTML. In Komodo tab. Save. And of course, this goes like this, HTTP. Let's go to the server localhost. Mine is run on this port here, 8888. We have the folder web app 0 and the greeting 2.html. Let's remember this. Preview. All right, first name, whatever, John Smith. Show greeting 4. Array size 4. Good. All right, good. All right. Let me copy this URL here just in case I have to retype it again. Control copy. Let me close this. All right, let's go back to greeting 2. All right, so we have that. So this here is 4. We don't need this. So what is it? So we're going to do here, let's loop through each element of the array and check if there is a match between input name, first and last name, and the element of the array. Right? Notice that one index, the row, goes from 0 to 3 because it's 4 records. Look there in the population, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. So the first number here is from 0 all the way up to 3, right? 4 records. And the other index, that's the column, goes from 0 to 1. Right? 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. All right, good. Now let's create now variable that represents a match. A match was found or is found. So we're going to say $found match. And let's start with this with the false. Let's use the for loop. For parentheses, $row of 0, $row less than $array size. Remember, array size is 4. So we have to go from row 0 to row 3, right? Array size and the $row plus plus. Open, close brackets. So this is a big if, right? Let's use that case insensitive, right? Because we're going to end up using database. So in database, again, you don't want to miss any record there, right? So string, case, compare, CMP, in parentheses, the pair there. So I'm going to compare $name array, the row, right? And here, 0. That's the first name, right? First name. I'm going to compare the first name on an array with the first name that was sent, f name in. F name in. If I compare with that is equal to 0, and I want to make sure that the first name and the last name are the same, right? I want to split the exact person, right? And string case compare, the same thing now do with the last name. String case comparing parentheses, $, name array of $, the same row, right? Row, and the other index is 1, last name, comma, $, right? Let me move this down here and, right? String compare, comma, $, last name in. If that is equal to 0, so both are equal, right? I'm going to do two stuff here, two things. I'm going to set that Boolean variable found match is equal to true, and I'm going to get out of the loop. I found already. Let's say that is a unique one. There is only John Smith, one Mary Ash, right? So unless you have it, you add more information, right? You store more information, like you ask for the name, first, last name, and ID, and so on and so forth. Found the match, and then we're gonna get out of the loop. Now here's the end of the loop, right? End of the loop. After the end of the loop, we're gonna say here, if you loop throughout, if $, found the match is still equal. Oh, now it's true now. So what do we do? Let's indent here. Print name is in the server. Else it's false. It's still false. There's no match. Print name not found. Save this. Let's get our green 2 HTML. In Komodo tab. Oh, it's still there. Good. All right. So let's just here John, right? Smith. Show greeting. Name not found. Oh, okay. How about we have Mary Ash there, right? Mary. And let's do a crazy thing here. Little a, big S, little a big H, Mary Ash. Show greeting. Name is in the server. All right, we're almost at the end of the video. The only thing I need to say now is, now look at this. We have only first and last name. We have to store that in this array and everything. Imagine now if you add the ID, address, state, zip code, telephone, a bunch of information. So work with the array in real life example is not really ideal, right? Well, we can say, well, I can put an Excel and then save as a CSV, comma, separate value. Yeah, you can do that. So on the next video, I'm going to show you how to take, they are called flat files, how to read from flat files and do whatever you're supposed to do, right? For example, check or search if the name is there and so on. And eventually, we're going to move away from this array CSV and get into MySQL, our database. Okay, thank you. And you're gonna the next video is going to be up very soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.